At this point, you should have merged all the data for independent variables into the data table of the dependent variable you wish to model. In the Analytics tab of RETScreen, click on Establish Baseline under Step 2, Baseline, and then select Regression Analysis. In this dialog box, you need to select the data table that contains the data for your dependent variable and independent variables. Then choose which field contains the data for your dependent variable. Remember that the dependent variable is the one that you want to model and predict the behavior of. In this case, it's electricity consumption. Now, you can select any number of independent variables to include in your model, but there are a few things to keep in mind when selecting them. First, don't start with a large number of independent variables. Choose one or two that you expect to be the biggest drivers, and then see if there is still variance in the dependent variable that isn't explained. Second, make sure your independent variables aren't correlated. If there is a strong correlation between two independent variables, then only one should be used. If they are related but one contains some additional information, see if they can be combined into a single variable that contains all the useful information. For the purposes of this one, because it's a production facility, we're going to start with production and then see how that works out. The last input box is method. Leave this as daily. If you want to know more about what this means, you can click the question mark button for an explanation. Before clicking the green check mark to create the model, make sure that the name of your model is descriptive and that you'll be able to identify it easily if you end up creating a variety of different models. This has now created the model using linear regression. If you want to use a nonlinear equation for the model, you can click the Select Equation button. But I will caution you against doing this. Choosing a different equation can improve the characteristics of your model, but it needs to be rooted in a real-world justification. Unless you have a good reason for choosing a nonlinear relationship, you should leave it as the default linear equation. If at any point you want to add or remove a variable, you'll need to start this process over and create a new model.